Hi, Tom Lydon with ETF Trends here in Washington, D.C. at the Schwab Institutional Conference with Tony Davidow, who's Asset Allocation Smart Beta Strategist for the Schwab Center.
For financial research.
For financial research?
It's a mouthful, it's a mouthful.
Great seeing you, Tony, as always.
Great being here.
Well, thank you again. Congratulations on another great conference. I heard that there are a record number of advisors here.
Yep.
But also there are a record number of ETF-centric advisors. You folks talk to advisors all the time about ETFs. What are some of the things that you're learning when you survey advisors?
We learn a lot, and I think one of the things you definitely get from a conference like this is, there's a change in the way that advisors do business and the way that incorporate ETFs in their practices. But to refine that message over time, we actually do an ETF survey where we go out and we ask our advisor networks and our individual clients as well a series of questions to kind of gauge how are they using these strategies, and in particular over the last couple of years, as you're aware, we've been asking them about how do they use smart beta strategies, and frankly, 4 or 5 years ago, the question was, do they work? And now we've kind of morphed into, how do they work? How do I distinguish between the myriad of strategies? And more importantly, how do I incorporate them better in my portfolios to have better outcomes?
So I'm sure initially we saw the flows, and that would be indicative of what you might have found out, that a lot was in pure beta strategies.
Yep.
And then as time developed and more smart beta strategies came out, factor strategies came out, you started to see more flows in those areas?
We really have, and I think the flows year to date on the Schwab platform is up 30%, so we're clearly seeing a lot more interest in these smart beta strategies. And again, I think as we've been doing this survey, we're starting to hear a lot more definition around the types of strategies they're using. And not surprisingly, the most popular types of strategies are value and growth and quality and fundamental. So again, we're starting to see a lot more interest on not just smart beta, this big umbrella sort of term, but specific allocations.
Well, let me ask you, you mentioned those are them where you're seeing most of the flows, but lately, in the last couple of years, it's been areas like growth and momentum. Are you saying that the Schwab advisors aren't falling for it? That they're sticking to long-term strategies and not factor chasing?
Yeah, it's interesting. Momentum, which has been a great performing strategy, right?
Yeah.
Benefiting from all the FANG and the run up there, of actually towards the bottom. And multi-factor, which is where a lot of the new entrants have really focused their energies, actually haven't registered with our clients.
Yeah.
And multi-factor in particular, I think, is something that is often very confusing. It's something I hear from advisors a lot. We've done a really good job creating a menu for them. We've created all these single strategies, and now they can build their own portfolio, reflect their own views and preferences. Now all of a sudden multi-factor strategies come along, and I think the challenge for advisors is, how do I evaluate? Do I give that to somebody else, or do I do it on my own?
Do I do it in-house? Yeah.
And I think more is saying that they're doing it on their own. They can reflect kind of their own views of the world.
Yeah. Well, Schwab is one of the top ETF issuers and continues to dominate in certain areas, and the whole variety of offerings at a very, very low cost. What might we see from Schwab in the future as far as expanded offerings and especially traction within the advisor community?
Yeah, I'll defer to the folks at Charles Schwab Investment Management and Product Development, but clearly one of the things we do is we do listen to our clients, and we heard loud and clear from our clients, cost is an important consideration. They really believe in these core building blocks, and the core building blocks aren't just looking at market cap as the core. We actually have long held a view that the core can be represented by both market cap and fundamental, nice complement to one another. We're starting to see more and more advisors adopt that as a way of kind of getting exposure to the various market segments. So I think you'll see a lot more of doing things really well in a thoughtful way and listening to our clients.
Yeah. Now, ETFs aren't always sexy, but we've been at this for a while now. Are you excited about where it is today?
You have to be. You have to be. It's really transforming the industry. And again, I think a few years ago there's a lot of skepticism on the evolution and are these strategies in fact providing better outcomes. And I think where we sit today, it's a great point in time. We've given our advisors great building blocks. We've provided a lot of education, so they've evolved beyond do they work to how do they work and how do I have better outcomes for our clients. And I think events like this really showcase how important education and networking is to really share best practices.
Absolutely. Well, Tony, as always, great seeing you.
Great being here. Great seeing you, Tom.